Well, you're listening to Roots and Fusion on Stockport's Pure, and yet again we're at the Barista Cafe Bar for the Stockport sessions, and I'm really pleased that I've got in front of me Mr. Spider Mike King. All right, Mike.
Hello there. Hello everybody, and hello the listening world out there.
I'm really pleased that you've come to this session. I first met you, I think it was November last year. It was the last night of the Black Lion in Salford where he did a gig. And I remember you seriously impressed me there. You blew me away.
Well, thanks for that. And it was one of those nights. Unfortunately, there'd been some great evenings there, musical evenings, and for one reason or other, it was the final fling, so to speak. Yeah. And I had some good fun there that night. It was just acoustic guitars, and there was a few other guys on. And I seen you there, and we made our acquaintance from there on, really.
Yeah. So then we sorted out the gig, which I think went well. You played really well on that one.
At the Barista here in Stockport.
And here we are.
So there. So I've just come. I'm a bit tired at this time of the afternoon. I've just finished doing the Martin Hannett documentary at Gorillas in town, and there was a lot of musicians on there. That was a great night, and 48 Chairs and Victor Brox and all the old it all crawled out of the woodwork.
Brox,
including myself, you know. But it was a great night. A bit tiring, but you know, because Martin was he was a good mate of mine. I met Martin Hannett, producer extraordinaire with Joy Division, but I met Martin when we were both still school lads,
right.
And then we got in a gang together, and I realised he was very much into music playing, and he played the bass, I played the guitar. I think that was probably about 1968 or something like that. Yeah. And then we started playing guitar. We got a bed sit together, and we were sharing the same bed. Yeah. And sharing the same kind of baked beans, and mine had a great record collection, so that was every hour of the day we were just listening to records, and we'd be playing music. And then we got a band together with local lad Paul Burgess of 10cc, latterly. But Paul was a great discovery for me and Martin, because I mean he's a good drummer now, but he's always been that good. Yeah. Paul, he was a great find for us, and so that would be about 72. We started playing with Paul, and that was my first band, the Spider Mike King Band. So the name came from one of Martin's mates. Yeah. The nickname Spider.
Oh, what's the reason behind the Spider?
The reason behind the Spider. I wasn't creepy, necessarily.
And I've counted your legs, so it's not that either.
Well, it was a bit, actually. I mean, I'm 6'2", and in those days, I'm follically challenged these days, as I might say. But in those days, I had mass of hair, and so I was tall and skinny. I was dressed in black, and black polo necks, black everything. And one of Martin's chums said, "Yeah, you look like a spider. I'm going to call you Spider." And so then kind of like the nickname stuck, and that was it. And for various guises over the years.
It definitely works as a name anyway.
It was Spider Mike King to begin with, and it was Spider Jive, another band with sort of Stockport lads in it, and then it was Spider King, and there were various forms of Spider over the years.
You've played with Nico as well, haven't you?
I did play with Nico. I had the good fortune as well, because she was a great stick, Nico. And the funny thing is that in the 60s, when we were experimenting, so to speak, with recreational and the whatnot, the first record I ever listened to in that condition was Nico and the Velvet Underground. Right. So I was already a massive fan of her voice and that band. And then lo and behold, about 1980, I got the call through saying Nico wanted to meet me, and she'd heard this, that and the other, and would I be the guitar player and do various gigs that were coming up. And went all over Europe and America, which was America was America was a complete debacle. They flew us over there on a one-way ticket, and they sent us over there we arrived on July the 4th, which is their Independence Day, as you know, and everybody was on holiday. So we were getting to gigs, and all the colleges were closed. We were getting to college gigs, and there was nobody there. The gates were barred. So we were always losing money. And halfway through that tour, which was a 6-week tour, I believe, I had to go to the next gig with Nico because we didn't have enough money to get the petrol and send the whole band. So the band would have to stay behind, and then I go ahead, and then it was blah blah. And it was a total mix-up, that gig. But Nico was a great stick. I loved her to bits, and her whole world she carried with her in a handbag.
Yeah.
Well, a very large hold-all, really. And that was, I mean, she was, as it's been described, she was one of the last great bohemians.
Yeah.
But I loved Nico to bits.
Excellent experience.
Yeah.
And now you signed to Distilled Records, is that right?
Distilled Records, it's a little label in Scotland.
How did that come about, being a Scottish label?
I lived in Scotland in the late 80s, about 1989. I lived up there, and I'd already made a lot of friends up there through a family connection. And it's mainly the Dowling family of Yorkshire. And Steve Dowling and his brother Hughie put together. Hughie's got the record studio. It's in an area called the Maccas, southwest of Scotland, in a town called Bladnoch, where they make brilliant whiskey.
Hence the name of the
Bladnoch whiskey, and the distillery is related to that. So. One thing and another, I'd always played music up there for years, and then they decided to put this label together, and I did some recording up there about 2 years ago, and got a little CD out.
That was the Blood Sessions.
That's the Blood River Sessions, yeah. And so that was, we just took the whole band in there and played it live. It was great. Again, I was privileged to have really, really brilliant musicians. I've always been lucky that way.
That was all played live?
All that CD. We had fiddle and pedal steel and cajon drum and another guitar player and bass. So it was fantastic, and it's a brilliant location. It's by the river that runs through it, and we had what I thought was a real successful session up there. And I'm still signed with Distilled, but so far we've not got immediate plans for anything to be released.
Right.
Although
has things been recorded or in the process of being recorded? Or?
Not at the moment.
Right. Okay.
But I have this other project, which is kind of on the back burner. Was bubbling up nicely. Well, that's with the Finders Keepers album, label rather. Yeah. And that's Andy Vodsell, and he does retro kind of releases. He's already done one, Manchester Hair, which has got a lot of Stockport bands on that, Stat Waddy and all the rest of it. Yeah. And I got a track on that LP he brought out last year, but he wants to do a complete retro 1970s Spider King.
Right, so your old stuff, but re-recorded?
No, not re-recorded. It's all the original recordings.
Right,
with there's a few tracks, 3 or 4 tracks produced by Laurie Latham, who produced Ian Jury and Paul Young, London Paul Young, wherever I lay my hat, Paul Young. So a great producer, but it's all from the 70s, mid-70s kind of stuff.
That'd be good.
There's also part of that project, there's a little cassette going to be released, which has got 2 original tracks with Martin Annett playing bass on it.
Excellent.
So it kind of comes full circle, funny enough.
Yeah. So where people get in touch with you to find out what it is that you're up to? You got your social media'd up and that
I've got the Facebook site, and there's a few videos on there with sort of music videos, and the thing about it is I'm not very techno. I'm a bit technophobe, so I have to have people update me about what's been going on, who's been trying to get in touch with me and stuff like that. I haven't got Facebook friends. I haven't got many friends really, but certainly not on Facebook anyway. You know. I mean, I like to face my friends face to face. This thing that hangs around in the ether, you never know who you're dealing with.
It's very strange.
I don't know. But there is stuff out there. Spider-Man King, you check that out, and he'll refer you to all over the show.
Right, I really appreciate your time coming down here. Thank you very much indeed.
That's fantastic.
We'll do it again
Much
sometime.
obliged. Yeah, enjoyed it.
Excellent. Cheers, man.
Made in Stockport.
Pure 107.8 FM.